wait a minute. I just changed my mind. Fuck Steezy, bro. Steezy. What's like? You know what the Steez?
Oh, the Steezy stories.
Dizzy, Izzy, Steezy stories.
Yeah, that one works.
We did it. What's going on, my sleazies and my steezies? This is Steezy Izzy,
Dirty Birdo.
and this week we're gonna be talking about
Army versus college.
So, for those of you who don't know, Army and college are really similar. Even though they're very different in two different ways, they're very similar in one aspect: camaraderie. Like the bond that you build with friends and everybody that you meet in college, compared to like the people that you meet in the barracks. With the Army, there's a big bond that happens. Once you get to college, and
what forms those bonds is your experiences.
exactly.
So you have unique experiences in college, you have unique experiences in the Army. For those of you who don't know, he went to UC Santa Barbara when it was ranked. What was it?
It was ranked number 2 in the world not the world. It was ranked number 2 in America by Playboy magazine as a top party school. Like, man.
And then I was enlisted in the Army in 08. I did my active years, my 4 active, and then finished up my contract in the military reserve. And every time I come home, right, this would be there, and
I'd be like, you know what we got in the backyard? We got the kegs. We got all kinds of crazy shenanigans going. We got the flip cup going on. We got the beer pong.
So he's like, let me show you how college does it. I'm gonna show you how Army does it.
Right.
And we keep
And
going.
we'll butt heads and just be like, all right, let's see who can do it better.
Yeah.
So these are just gonna be some of our experiences of everything that we've been through, and
Instead of making it a competition, we're just comparing experiences.
right.
So round one.
So the first thing is like social. We call them socials and fraternities, but usually like for everything else that happens in college, it could be just like a get together. It could be like an event. It's literally just an event for you to meet new people. So that's pretty cool, especially like when you're new in the dorms. You don't know that many people. All you know is your roommate, and that's about it.
So definitely the most unique thing that you can experience in the Army is basic training, or like another, like I know a lot of people know the Marine Corps, which they call it boot camp, but that's where like you're just thrown in. I was 17 years old at the time. You're thrown into the den of the wolves and stuff, and it's crazy because you're with a bunch of people who they're for the most part young men. Like I went to an all-male basic training for Maine, and like my bunkmate was from Virginia. The guys next to me, there's a guy from Kentucky, there's a guy from Maine, and on the other side, a guy from Hawaii, a white guy from Georgia. Places that I've obviously, as a 17-year-old, I've never been.
Right.
And then it was so crazy. Like for some people, I was the first Mexican they ever seen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
And then you're gonna go do all these crazy things, these training events together. So like that's where like a really strong bond forms. And believe it or not, it's actually more fun than what you think.
Yeah.
Round 2. Deltopia.
Deltopia, bro. Oh my god. Okay, so this was the only one that I got to experience. Apparently, there was many more before 2009, but 2009 was the last year. It was one of the most epic events of 10,000 people stuck in this little tiny area of the beach. And over there on the cliffs, you have all these different houses that are right along the cliffs of the beach, just playing music. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's dancing, partying, drinking. You got beer pong tables all over the.
If I recall correctly, this happened during spring break.
Spring break, exactly. It's literally the first weekend of spring break, or the first or second weekend, depending on how the schedule works. But yeah, so that happened in 2009, and then it was so big and so much trash was littered all over the beach that they closed it down, and they close down the beach every year the first few weekends of spring break.
Yeah.
So now it's called Deltopia. So Deltopia is basically a play on words off of Del Playa, which is the biggest party street. That's the street where all those houses, all those DJs were at, playing all that music next to the beach. So the whole block, it's lit. It's literally every single house, huge parties. The whole street is covered with people. It's probably not 10,000 people like it used to be, right, with Deltopia, but it was fun.
Shit. All right, military balls. Military balls are like the most formal event we got. They do usually once a year. The one that my experience that I loved the most was when I returned from Iraq. We did a military ball, and what it is the battalion, which is usually made up of a certain amount of companies. I believe ours was like 5 or 6 companies, which is made about between like 100 to 200 soldiers. So you're looking at about close to 1,000 soldiers in this event. You dress to the nines, in your dress uniform, looking fly.
Looking like $1 million with the starch and everything.
Yeah,
all like pressed, you know. Nice and shiny.
But the thing that makes it unique is what's called a grog bowl.
Ooh. I know you've told me this in the past, but I still don't believe that. Man, you guys are crazy.
So it's a big old tin bowl that every company, the commander, fills up with alcohol or a drink that represents their unit. So I was a signal soldier, I was a radio operator. So we keep the message ever clear. So he put a bottle of
ever clear. Damn.
Our colors are orange, so he put a bottle of cognac in there. And then there was another unit, like the supply units. They give us energy or whatever, so they put Red Bull. And then I don't know why they don't put Jaeger, and another one puts Hennessy, and one puts Jack, and then another one puts apple juice. And then it's this big bowl that everybody takes a drink from, and you only need one.
So they pour the entire bottle?
Everything mixed in.
It's not just like a little.
They pour the entire bottle.
I thought it was like a recipe.
No.
Damn.
So and everybody gets wasted.
I can imagine. You had just like a cup or two, and you're already.
That's it.
Like,
round 3.
Okay, so Undie Run was cool. It was one of those things where like you just kind of like want to de-stress. Like everybody is just super stressed out over finals. Like everybody's just like panicking, like oh, like I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And then after you're done with your last final, like basically the whole school like lines up, and then everybody takes off their clothes. Like a lot of people would donate. Like there was a bin where people would take their clothes off and they would donate them to like.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, so charity and stuff like that. Because there's a big homeless population in the.
So it wasn't just to run around.
Yeah, exactly. There were some benefits to it. You know, like people were donating. But other than that, it was fun. Like everybody was just screaming, just running down. There's this huge mob of people in their underwear mobbing through the whole city.
Yeah.
And then it ends. I think it starts at the library or it ends at the library. And then everybody like starts spreading out and just going to all these different parties. That's just the beginning part. But yeah, that's one of the things in college that we used to do.
Yeah. I think this is a unique thing that's different from college.
Okay.
Is the access to alcohol, access to parties.
Yeah, because this is like, I mean, Santa Barbara's a little different because like everybody like doesn't give a fuck. Like they'll find an older person or whatever. But for the most part,
but you gotta find that one person.
Exactly. You still have to go out and find that person to go buy you the alcohol, especially when you're freshman. Dude, it's so tough.
So I got to my actual unit at 18, and there's at least a sergeant in every squad.
Yeah.
And almost every sergeant. There are sergeants that are younger, but there's gonna be someone in your squad that's above the age of 21. Mm-hmm. Super easy to get alcohol.
Yeah.
And then having a military ID, it's super easy to kind of like sneak by and get into like certain events and clubs, because some people will even like the military will let you go.
Yeah.
So there's definitely experiences that it's super easy to go party and get fucked up. And then also we all look alike, we're all blessed head, we're all this. So if someone like sort of looked like you, hey, use my ID to get back in. So it was super easy just to go and party. So that access, way easier in the Army.
Right.
All right, so we talked about some differences, but there's very similar experiences that we agreed on. And it's the dorms and barracks.
Dorm/barrack life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The first thing I'm gonna say about dorm life is that, man, it feels like summer camp for a whole year. Like it's literally like you're just every single day you meet a new person. Mm-hmm. Like it's literally like you just walk down the elevator and you meet some new person. You see a new freshman like with the bottles in the backpack, and they're clinking, they're like clink, 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 and you're like, I know the fool started smuggling alcohol. So then you start chopping it up. They tell you where the party's at. It's just like these things where like the weirdest things happen. Like people would be like bonding over like studies. Like people would just be studying in the in the living room, and then all of a sudden, you know, just like everybody just starts talking about these. Oh man, in high school I did this. Oh man, no way I did this too. So it's just like it's that same thing with like the military. Like,
super similar. Yeah. You're like you said, you're on the floor with all kinds of faces. Especially in AIT where you do your training, you also live in barracks, and that's also where you go do your training for school. Yeah. And that's like the closest. You wake up, you do PT, you go to your class. At night, you're in the barracks. You know, and it's cool talking about their high school days or where they're from. Yeah. Like I remember I had a homie who lived like a few miles away from where my parents lived. So we're like, oh man, you're from Cali, blah blah blah. And then army stuff. So you're talking about doing push-ups and shooting guns and stuff like that. But it's just you finding how to bond with people that live in a similar situation than you.
Right. All right, guys. So those are all our top experiences from college, army, and whether they collided in the middle. You guys decide whether you like, you know, the army better. If you're, because you can do both. At the end of the day, you can go to the army, get your GI Bill, leave, and then go to college. It's not like it's one or the other. You can choose.
We're just talking about that first experience.
So to finish it off, I'm gonna ask you a question. If you could do it all over again, would you still do it army first and then go to college? Okay, because college and then army is.
I mean, this is a good question, but if you ask most soldiers, they will. Just because you gain a sense of pride. That, like so, the difference between college people and army people, that's a really big difference. Is college people sort of have a direction.
Right.
You have, hey, what's my major? I'm
like, especially like if you know that like I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer. You have a straight path. Yeah.
Most soldiers do not have a direction, which is why you join the army. No, that's not necessarily.
Because in college there's a lot of undeclared too, so it's similar, but at least with college you're like, hey, I want to. You have to declare a major. Yeah. In college you don't have to declare.
You can join the army the same way, like, oh, I want to go join it. I want to be airborne. I want to be a ranger. I want to do this. Right. You can do that. You might not make it, just like in college. You can say I want to be a doctor. Do all the classes, and not make it.
Yeah. Oh. So at the end of the day, it's up to you to choose. I mean, you can either do the army first and then do college, and then later on, for some reason, you want to go to the army afterwards. Like, I would rather go army first, get that GI Bill, and then get that free education. You know what I'm saying? But it's up to you guys.
You tell us what you would do, what you would want to do, what you have done.
Or who knows? Maybe you want to do neither. Maybe you want to be an entrepreneur and say, fuck it, I want to do it all by myself.
Which in that case, you're better than both of us.
Yeah. You already, congratulations. You didn't play yourself. But like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for all the input.
Peace.